Sunday after the game, we talked about the touches from the running backs. And a lot of people on Twitter are saying that CEH is virtually done. And that's the kind of question I asked you. But if you look at the snap count, so CEH only played 4 snaps, and that's comparative to McKinnon's 23 snaps, Pacheco's 35 snaps. And it looked like we really went with the Pacheco-McKinnon combination. Today, added to that, today they asked Andy Reid about that, and Coach Reid had a weird comment. It was just like he said that the snap count's pretty skewed because the one drive he went in, we had a 3-and-out, and we don't usually have many 3-and-outs. My question is, that was like the second quarter of the game. I mean, okay, that one drive, he had the 3-and-out. Why wouldn't you go? But if that is the reason, why wouldn't you go back to him later on in the game? I just think that's kind of a weird way of saying that snap count thing is skewed. But after the game, you said that CEH is not done in this offense. So I'm curious what you have to think 4 days after the game to take it all in. Is CEH done in this offense, JD?
No, I don't think so. And I got to go back to what my original answer was. I think this game just was more geared toward the skill set of what Pacheco gave and then McKinnon, right? Especially in situational terms that they had to deal with. And so Pacheco was more of the physical back, especially against this type of defense. You got to run straight at him. And we did a tremendous job kind of going back into the running game, right? And so I think to establish the running game to be as physical as you want it to be, the physicality of it and coming off the football, you have to have a back that has that type of skill set. And Pacheco's that type of guy. He'll put his head down. He'll go for the hard yards. He's going to keep his legs churning. He's a bigger back than CEH. And so that's what was required for this, especially this win, and especially to reestablish the running game that the Chiefs needed to do to open up the pass. And I'm glad they actually did that. I'm glad they actually incorporated the running game into the game plan, right? I think that was part of the problem the week before when Patrick Mahomes was passing for 68 times in a game. Like that's not sustainable. And so when you have a quarterback that's throwing football that many times, then you put him in harm's way. So I don't think CEH is done in this offense by no measure. Just for the simple fact that we know we need him. He has a skill set that we know, and depending on what game that we do play, he's going to get his touches. And so I think because we knew the offense was going to be this way, where everybody's kind of getting the ball, it's not necessarily geared to one guy. The only guy that we can know for a fact is going to get the football is Travis Kelce, right? In this offense. I mean, that's just what it is, okay? And that's how it should be. So, when you're dealing with certain issues and certain problems, you don't use a hammer for every situation, right? I mean, you have a multitude of tools for different things that you had to utilize them for. And so I just kind of figured that CEH, with his type of skill set, he's just a different tool in the box, in the toolbox. So that's the answer.
Yeah. I'll say I think the only back in that backfield that has a cemented role is McKinnon, because regardless if CEH was the guy or Pacheco was the guy, he was still getting his snaps and on that third down, especially, which he's vital to our passing game, really.
Absolutely.
And so right now, McKinnon is limited in practice this week, or at least today he was limited participant. So if he doesn't play, I mean, CEH will definitely get more snaps because he'll definitely play more of the passing down back if that were the case, but hopefully that's not the case.
Okay, so I'll kind of visit that too, because I think it was saying that McKinnon wasn't supposed to play the last game, and they were talking about they weren't going to activate RoJo, right? So that was the thing. Like, well, if he's not going to be in there, you're not going to activate this guy. So are they pushing for McKinnon to come in? And the thing is, you got to appreciate really what McKinnon brings to the passing game. Like as far as understanding the blocking scheme, how he's able to block, how he's able to cut on guys. Like I remember like the earlier the games, I forgot what game it was, where he was cutting the defensive ends, like textbook. I mean, like that's how you teach it. And he's doing a tremendous job. It was so good, the refs had to call the flag. So he's like, man, he's blocking him too well, pretty much in our estimation. I was just like, man, what are you talking about? He's right there in the box. He's hitting him right there in the thigh, like textbook blocking. So McKinnon, like you said, he just has such value because what he does in the passing game, right? Not just in blocking, but getting out and open and getting into the pass routes.
So when you talk about RoJo, so in that same press conference where he talked about the CEH snap count being skewed, they asked him about Ronald Jones, and so his hilarious response. And you played football, so you obviously would, when you hear a coach talk, I'm sure sometimes you've heard your coach speak in the past, like, damn, that really pisses me off. But this is what he said about Ronald Jones, and I can't imagine hearing this, especially if I want to be out of the team already, and then I hear my coach say this. He said, Ronald Jones is a good player. It all started back in training camp. You have to wait until someone gets sick or injured for a spot. Usually only have 3 RBs dressed for a game. We feel very comfortable with him in there. I don't know. If I heard that from my coach, I'd be kind of pissed off. It's like, dude, like, let me go.
Yeah. Hey, man. Something had to happen, or at least where they were sitting there saying, like, this guy doesn't want it enough. Look, all right, I'm not even going to do that. I don't know. I'll just say that whatever reason, RoJo is not playing because maybe they just felt like he wasn't giving enough. He wasn't doing enough. Maybe he wasn't showing enough for their satisfaction. And so they wanted to go with those 3 guys. I guess they kind of figured that, hey, these 3 guys is the one that wanted out. And we can't just get a guy in here because we got him during the offseason free agency. It's not a popularity contest. It's not because you have a name behind you. It's the 3 guys that are going to be that's going to be most successful, right? The guys that they're showing us that you want to be out here on the field. And maybe during that time, RoJo just wasn't doing it. He wasn't cutting it. So I don't know, man. Like you said, it's kind of bad for him. Mm-hmm. But it don't feel good. Look, in practice, I tell you what, if I was RoJo and I'm on the scout team, of course you're taking all the reps for the other back for your opposing team. I would run light folks up. I'm running over Gay, Bolton, Reed, the whole defense, Chris Jones, whoever it is, I'm running over all of them. Just to make a point.
Yeah. Just
to make a point. Yeah, you want me in here? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do to this number 1 defense you got over here, though. Watch this, right? My nephew played up here at UK, and I remember he was on the scout punt team, and he went and he got around the guy and he blocked the punt. Well, he was just like, they got all over. Oh, don't do it. So and he said, Uncle Jason, what am I supposed to do? I said, you go in and you block it again. That's what you do. He's like, yeah, but I said, here's the reason. You go in there and block it again, they're going to say, how come this guy's not playing on Saturday? He's blocking against our starters out here. We need to put him out here to go block a punt against our opponent because he's bringing effort and all of that, and there's something going on with these guys that's up here. You take his spot. Okay? That's what you do. So coaches see that. So that's how I feel. If I was RoJo, that'd be my response. Okay, I'm gonna make everybody pay.
I just think for me, like, because I'm in other news too, is I just think we're not really, and I know we like our backs. I just don't think they're really sold on what we have. We've changed everything. Like CH was getting the ball, McKinnon was getting the ball. And actually, beginning of the season, McKinnon really wasn't getting many snaps, and then now it's a Pacheco McKinnon thing. And then Cardinals drop Eno Benjamin, who started for them and got good playing time with the Cardinals when Connor went out. He gets cut. We placed a waiver claim for him. Texans ended up getting him. We obviously he didn't last to us in the waiver claim, but like that's another guy. We're gonna bring in another running back. I mean, it seems to me that when we go into next offseason, I think that running back room is gonna be a big shakeup. That's what I think. I mean, what do you think when you hear that we're placing a waiver claim on another running back?
You know what? I had no idea. That's the first time I heard about that. So I don't really like the waiver claims. I'm kind of following, maybe on Twitter or stuff like that. I get some of these things a little bit late. Had no idea. That is very shocking. That's very shocking. Because like you're sitting there saying, you put in there for this guy. But, Benjamin had success when he was out there in Arizona, when Connor was down. So that's just telling you that, like you said, there's no solidified number 1 running back in this offense, right? They're looking for one. So they understand who they have in CEH. I think they understand the limits of Pacheco, right? Because he's young and he just doesn't have that experience. And McKinnon, who is like a Swiss Army knife, he can do it all. But he has injury in his past. But he's a good back. He's a good back. So I think they're looking for that guy that's going to stay solidified, getting tough yards, that can kind of do it all. And then putting in for that, like, it's putting everybody else on notice.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this offseason. We've talked about before. It's an amazing running back free agency class and even an amazing running back draft class. But I feel like we're going to go more of that route. Someone who is proven. And a guy like Tony Pollard would be amazing in this offense. But he's a free agent, so we'll see. I know Jerry Jones is a big fan of Zeke, so maybe he'll let Pollard go. But
I don't know now. He might want to go ahead and get rid of Zeke.
He's been talking a big game about that, about Zeke's to start running back for this offense. It's like, oh, come on, man. Like, Pollard's got the juice.
Hey, mouth says anything. That's what I know.
That's true.
Hey, we made a decision. We're going to go a different way. It happens all the time, right? It happens all the time. So, nobody thought that Tyreek Hill will take his skill set down to Miami Beach, but he's there, right? Yeah. It's the NFL, man. It's how it works. It's just business.
Yeah.
So you say all the right things now, but hey,
it's weird because I know we're getting off topic here a little bit, but like he's more critical of Dak, whereas with Zeke, he's backing Zeke up big time. Where Zeke hasn't really done much this year, but yet as soon as Zeke's healthy, he's our guy. But Dak criticizes Dak more. I don't know. Jerry Jones is a different animal. I really can't understand him.
Well, Dak, just got a huge contract, so he's going to be critical because he's looking at his investment and his money.
Yeah.
But you might be worried about the one patting you on your back.
That's true.
Hey, how you doing? You doing all right? Hey, yeah, I've seen that before.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot of stuff when it comes to that.
Seen a lot of stuff. Yeah, I've seen a lot of pats on the back. I've seen a lot of that.
Don't worry, you're good. You're good in my book. And then a couple weeks later, the guy's gone.
Yeah, patting you on the back, pushing you out while they're patting you on the back. Yeah, you good. Yeah, we'll see you later. Bye. So
it's dirty business. It's a dirty business sometimes.
Dirty business, no doubt about it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.